Well, Mr. Tagore, welcome back again at the National Critics' Choice. How do you see yourself, as a champion for the artist, since you've taken a bold step into the art of filmmaking, and is it to enhance awareness of the artist and your gallery, or really, what is it for you?
I come from a generation of artists, something like 14 generation of artists. My family members have been writers and poets and artists and painters, also filmmakers to a certain extent. Very early part of it. Satyajit Ray, Mrinal Sen, all these well-known film directors were friends of my family. So for me to be part of the art world, whether directly or indirectly, has been without any question, because that's the arena I grew up in, and it's natural sort of development. What happened is, and I've been picking up artists, promoting artists for a long time. I've always saw myself as an artist. At the same time, I thought there were too many artists in my home, so I didn't want to be an artist. Now that impulse is growing within me, because I feel that I have an aesthetic point of view, and thereby I can not only show the artist's work, but I have a point of view that I feel it's unique to every individual. They have a point of view, and that point of view, if I express it, maybe someone else will connect with me, finding a kindred spirit, you know what I mean. So on that basis I started making films, because I feel I'm really interested in the ideas of globalization, really interested in the ideas of East-West dialogue, and this was way back when, before I think globalization even came through. None of us knew, but I knew because I'd lived in so many different countries. I had traveled to so many different parts of the world, and I knew that there was something shifting, something that was happening, and no one was talking about it. And that's when I said something like 200 million people left their homelands and changed the course of history. Because of them, that we have this idea of this kind of global unified world, because there were demands in cell phone, because there were demands in airplanes, there were demands in travel areas. Along with that came technology and iPads and all of these. If there were no demands, no one would invent these. So that's the story I'm really, really interested in.
Do you consider this as a spiritual calling? Because you're an artist. Many artists say that they're doing this because they sense that there's a spiritual aspect involved. Does that reflect the same for you?
I mean, I think there's some calling, and I won't say it's spiritual. That is taking a kind of an upper hand. I don't like that, and I'm not there to say, but yeah, it's definitely something from deep down and close to my soul that I need to express. Every individual needs to express. What kind of medium you find, it's up to you. Whether you do it through curating a show, or making a film, or painting, or actually manufacturing something, or writing, we all need to express, because we are human beings. More so than that's the distinction between us and animals, because our expression has to be communicated more than one individual. And that's the glue to our society. That's what allows us to talk to a larger group of people than we know, and that's why it becomes societal. So yeah, it's very, very important. Likewise, very important for me to express through the filmic media.
So speaking about filmmaking, visual art, the change, is change good? In a matter of social networks, and how it impact communications, how does reflect upon artists today? Do artists have a choice to actually enhance their awareness through galleries, and the galleries would take part of social network communications or so? How does that work? I mean, the whole universe has changed so far.
Yeah, that's one thing that is granted in our existence. The continuous process of change at the speed of lightning speed. If you look at an iPad, look at cell phone. All of these have changed our existence. We can sit here today, and when I leave New York, I don't tell anyone that I've left New York. There's no reason for me to. I'm a second away. The moment they call me, I connect with them. I can tell them I'm in Singapore or I'm not. Doesn't matter. That has given us a lot of sense of physical freedom. We can movement. So those changes are actually developing a tremendous space, because iPad and Facebook and Twitter and all these things are bringing in change on a revolutionary level, because if you see a business today, like printing business, print media, they're going through a huge change because everyone's reading through iPads and computers. They're not reading the actually print version. So what does that mean? That area of jobs are disappearing. A new form of jobs are appearing. So all of these, so that's the area is granted. In our existence, in our lifetime, that is absolutely granted. So in the artistic context, changes, are they picking up the impulse? Art has always been ahead of the game in terms of all areas of activity. Art always pushes the envelope and paves the way for other areas to follow. I think what happened somewhere along the line, I think business and commerce changed that with globalization. I think art is again reasserting its existence through very, very inventive, innovative, and creative sort of art forms that they're creating. But the consumption of art, and therefore dissemination of art, is another story, and that needs to highlight really art of that value. And I think that's not what's happening. And because the reason it's not happening, because people do not know what is of value, because there's so much of it and across the globe. Before, essentially everything got disseminated from the West, and the art centers were largely in the West, and they may be in Japan to a certain extent, in Asia. But now there are art centers appearing out of just about every country in the world. Every major global city has an art center, and therefore you need a whole range of spokesperson for that. And as you develop a critical audience, you will see the arts taking the lead, forefront again, and therefore it's for the benefit of the society.